it's not working. Holy crap. Okay, people can hear us. Apologies, YouTube.
YouTubers are used to this by now, though, right?
Yeah, YouTubers are used to this, right? YouTube, you're not hating us too badly right now.
You're like, oh, it's a live stream.
This is how it goes.
It's like they get the behind-the-scenes show.
Yes.
That's their benefit for showing up to YouTube.
Hi, I'm Brock Heasley, the writer and director of The Shift. One of the reasons I made The Shift was out of frustration with all the depictions in fiction of a person facing off against the devil. I'd never seen a character handle that in the way that I would as a Christian, which is simply to pray. Quiet faith in the face of great darkness and temptation. But why make a Christian film that's got so much darkness in the first place, right? How does that track? I think it's in the dark times that the love of God shines brightest. When you think back on the times of your life when God was most evident, I'll bet it was in the middle of some difficult event or trial. For me, I think about the death of my father. I think about that time when my wife and I both lost our jobs within 24 hours of each other and we wondered what in the world are we going to do. And I think about our daughter who was born with special needs. A blessing for sure, but also a great trial for which we were totally unequipped. To be honest, we felt like God had given us something we couldn't handle. Even as good people of faith, we pass through dark times. Without those trials, my faith would be less. My knowledge and understanding of God would be less. The shift is not about darkness. It's about shining a light on God's love. And light, as we all know, cuts through the darkness. If you feel like this is an important message to share, partner with us. Back this project so we can finish this story. We've already got Dallas Jenkins, the creator of The Chosen, on board with us as executive producer, but we need you too. No one likes being asked for money, but we can't make the movie without it. We have until September 30th. September 30th, that's not a lot of time. I hope you'll join us. You can back the project at the link, studios.vidangel.com/theshift. I'm excited to share this journey with you.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's live stream. We're sorry for our customary technical difficulties, always a fun thing. And always something we seem to have to deal with. I'm joined, of course, tonight by my lovely wife, Erin, who many of you have requested to never, ever leave the live streams. I don't know if we're going to have her tomorrow night, but we have her for tonight.
No, this is probably my last gig.
Oh, you can come in for a little bit tomorrow.
We'll see.
A little bit.
We'll see. I don't know how y'all keep asking me to come back. I talked about kicking kittens and... here I am.
It's all in good fun, right?
I
Kicking
hope
kittens?
so.
You would kick a kitten, though.
I would not kick a kitten.
You don't like cats, though.
I don't, but that doesn't mean I want to hurt them.
It's a fine line.
No.
Okay, tonight we have a really, really cool live stream for you. Tonight we're going to have special guest Neal Harmon, who is the CEO of VidAngel. And VidAngel literally minutes ago, announced some pretty big stuff. And so we're hoping we can get Neal to talk to us about that. And of course, VidAngel is the entire reason that you're watching the shift in the first place. It was a little film that I made with some friends. VidAngel's the one that put it out to the world and is now helping us to get this funding. And so Neal's going to talk to us all about kind of, why he's supporting the shift and what his goals are with VidAngel and kind of how they're shaking up Christian media in a really big way. We're also going to be talking with Leonardo Torres.
That's so pretty.
That was nice. It'd be more pretty if I could roll my R's.
That was nice. He's just showing
but
off
I need water to do that. Torres. There we go. That was better. We're going to be talking to Leonardo tonight, and he, of course, is the host of Leonardo Torres Music, and he did a review of the shift live on his YouTube channel as a non-Christian.
Which was so fun.
And so we're going to get a chance to talk to him and get more of his thoughts on that. Want to just say hello to everybody who's joining us tonight. Woo! Nancy says hi, Aaron. Nancy doesn't care about me. She just wants to say hi to you.
Hi, Nancy.
Nancy, of course, coming all the way from Indiana. Margaret, hello. Barb from Indiana while in Orlando.
Wow.
Interesting. Wow. She's doing some traveling. Diana from Texas. Roxy, she has
2 cats.
She's 2 cats, Thor and Loki.
And I would
That's
never
awesome.
harm them.
No.
I would never. What is wrong with you? I would not hurt the
I've never
cats.
known you to harm a cat.
Ever.
No, even when a cat has harmed you. We had a psycho cat once. The cat literally would bite Erin every single time she walked by. Cat never touched me.
They put him on Prozac. It was bad.
We did put him on Prozac.
And I was nothing but kind to him.
And Prozac didn't help, unfortunately. That poor cat. He was awesome, but he was also huge. He was kind of like prehistorically large.
He was. It's a whole other live stream.
Yeah. Hello, Rhonda. Hello, Kara, Noah. It's good to see everybody tonight. We so appreciate you joining us. We, of course, this is a really important time. We are in the very final hours of this whole thing. And just over 24 hours from now, this offering is over. The investment is over. I know you're very glad. Because
I am. I'm excited for what comes next.
Well, and so to stop what we're currently doing, this has taken over our lives.
It has been a little intense, my friends.
Yes, it has been very intense.
A little intense.
But we are very
but
glad
we're
to
grateful.
Do it. We're so grateful.
We're grateful for it. But yeah, I'm excited to have my kitchen table be just a table again.
Yeah, definitely.
It'll be good.
And our daughter will get her room back, which is
That's
where
right.
I've been doing the streams.
Yes.
And I'll probably have to do it again then from there tomorrow night.
Yes.
Hello, LaDonna from Oregon. Nice to see you. Linda as well. Hello. Hey, Mike. Mike is a friend of ours from Utah.
Oh, hi, Mike.
He's here with us. That's awesome. Hello, Tara, also from Indiana. We have some goals tonight. So an incredible thing happened after our previous live stream. Our previous live stream, we set a goal of getting to $125,000, and we got there. We got there just at the end. I had to do a little bit of singing to make it happen.
It was so good.
But we did make it happen.
A little birdie told me that the singing could happen again tonight.
It might. What deal did we make with the moderator? The moderator was negotiating with me.
I think moderator Batman said that any 5-digit investment constituted a song
and a dance, I believe.
Yes.
If there's a 5-digit investment, if that actually happens, I will dance. I will literally dance. Noah says Jeff from Amazon. Jeff from Amazon better do more than a 5-digit investment.
And if you all knew Brock like I know Brock, you would know what a massive ego tamping down it is to offer to dance.
Oh, dancing is literally one of my top 5 fears, and I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
We took a swing dance class back when we were in college.
Yes.
Aaron was going through some hard times, and I think there was this sense from you that you kind of wanted me to also go through a hard time to kind of even the playing field.
That is a lie.
And you knew that the hardest thing for me to go through would be to take a dance class.
I wanted to spend time with you.
Yeah, well, there's other ways to spend time with each other, but we took a swing dance class. And I have no ability to keep a rhythm
at all,
or time, or any of those things. I just don't have. I appreciate music, but I don't have any musical bone in my body.
It's bad.
So we took this swing dance class and thinking it'll be okay because the swing dance is a partner's class, right? So you're with the person
So
the
we
whole
can
time,
dance
so we can dance
together.
together. But that's not how it worked. The teacher had us all pair off and rotate constantly throughout the class. So I was always dancing with a different, very sad woman. And she was sad, of course, because she was saddled with me for those 5 minutes. And I, 2 left feet, pretty sure that's what I've got. That's my affliction.
There might have been some tears.
Post-class, yes, there were issues for me. But one night, the teacher got so frustrated with me because I was literally dragging down everybody and just not getting it at all. She took me by the hand and dragged me to the center of the room and literally, with both of her hands, manipulated my feet and my legs to make me do the right thing because she was just so frustrated with me.
It was pretty brutal.
And it was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever gone through. I mean, I was an adult. I was 21 years old when this went down. 22, 21. And it was mortifying. And that night, we left the class, and Erin turned to me and said, "If you don't want to do this anymore, we don't have to." And I turned to her and I said, "I wasn't about to say that, but if you really don't think we need to, then fine. I don't want to do this anymore."
We went back to movies after that.
We went back to watching movies after class, yes, in the evenings. So
Roxy says she loves to dance. She does it by herself in her apartment. I dance in the kitchen right over there, like all the time. I'm constantly dancing. But for Brock to offer to dance, that's a serious, massive commitment on his part.
I will only do it when it's something or someone that is very, very important to me. And there is very few things in this world right now that are more important to me than making this movie. So yes, I will dance. I won't even hesitate to dance. Should anybody come in with a 5-digit investment. But
whoop, whoop.
But our goal overall tonight, what happened after last night is that we got to the 125, and then the investments continued to roll in. So we're now sitting at just north of $134,000 in investment,
Yay.
which is incredible. We've seen a lot come in the last almost 24 hours. And we believe even more is coming. And so tonight we're setting the goal to reach $140,000. And if we are able to set that goal, I might have a secret video that I've been hiding from you this entire time.
What?
Yes, I have a secret video that I've been hiding. I made it a long time ago. It is a secret behind-the-scenes video of the making of the Shift short film.
So I've seen this.
You've seen it.
Okay.
Oh, no, you've seen it.
I was about to say,
You've
what
seen it,
do you have?
But everybody out there
Okay.
has not seen it.
It's a good one.
So if we are able to reach 140 tonight, I will reveal the secret behind-the-scenes Shift video.
It's
It
fun.
has only ever been seen at our premiere that we did with cast and crew. That's the only time it's ever been seen, and that was years ago. But I've been holding on to this for a special moment, and I feel like this is a good moment for that. So if we're able to get that, and our moderator just reminded me the other agreement I made tonight: anybody who invests $1,000 or more, that's 4 digits, I will sing your shout out. I also am terrible at singing, but if that is something that is for some weird reason is attractive to you, I will do it. I will sing your shout out for any investments that are over $1,000. Last night I said I am not your monkey. Tonight,
He is our monkey.
I'm everybody's monkey, so I will do what I have to do.
It only took me 20 years, but we got that on video.
So that's what's going on. So let's talk about the fact that we have just over 24 hours to go. And you're thinking, well, gosh, you have, between where you are right now and $1 million, 140 is a modest goal. And so you might be tempted to think that, the investment doesn't really matter. Why come in with 4 digits? Why even come in with 5 digits when we're so far away from $1 million? First of all, I never stop believing in miracles. Never. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, Dallas Jenkins is coming on the live stream. It's the last day. When people hear last day, they say to themselves, oh my gosh, I've been meaning to do that. And then they come in. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We could get to $1 million. But let's say that's not going to happen. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the fact of the matter is that we are going to make this movie. And every dollar that we raise right now is super beneficial to that effort. And let me explain what that means. Look, we want as many of you to be our partners as possible. And as many as we're able to get, that becomes extremely attractive to the private investors that we're already talking to and the ones that we're going to be talking to. When they see that we've already got some money and that we've got all of this support, we're closing in on 350 investors now, that makes a difference. That is really important. So the fact that we've already raised as much as we have in less than 2 months is significant, and every dollar matters. We would prefer to fund the whole thing with supporters just like you.
So true.
But the private equity investors are great, and they can help us get there. But they need to see what we can do on our own, and so that's what's happening right now. So if you're thinking, $100 is about all I can afford, great. Send your $100. If 100 of you send $100, boom, we almost double our investment tonight. How amazing would that be? So please don't make the mistake of thinking that, it doesn't really matter right now. No, it really, really does. Every dollar we make above what we've got right now just makes it that much easier and opens up that many more doors for us with private equity investors. It really, really does. And of course, the terms of your investment are the same as they've always been. Your first money in, you'll be first money out. That's how this works. So yeah, please know that support is so important. So we hope you'll join us. Ultimately, it's not about money. It's not even about making money for us, because honestly, we're not going to make money until you make all of your money back plus 20%. That's how this works. So when I'm talking about all this, I'm not talking about lining my pockets. I'm talking about lining your pockets. I'm talking about making a movie. More importantly, just outside of the money, more importantly, I'm talking about a movie that has a message that I feel is really important, and that I know that a lot of you feel is really important. It's a message of faith. It's a message of receiving God's light in times of profound darkness. That's what this movie's about. That's what I've gone through in my life. That's what I know many of you have gone through. That's what Kevin's going to go through. You've seen Kevin go through some stuff in the short film. You have no idea what's ahead for him. And the power of the lessons that we're going to get, that we're going to receive as we're watching that film together. And just to clarify, when I talk about making money from this film, that comes with a big old asterisk, and that asterisk next to it has the word if. That's about if the film makes money, then you make money. Every risk is an investment, and I don't want to misadvertise what it is that we're doing. We can't predict what's going to happen, but we believe in what will happen. And so that's why we're talking about this. That's why we're excited. Just 1 second, our daughter is here, wants our attention. So I'm going to show you a video real quick so that we can talk to her. This video is one that we debuted last night. Some of you were like, I'm not going to invest. Great, this video is for you. This is 10 reasons why you should not invest in The Shift. Let's check that out. Look, we get it. We're coming to the end of the campaign here, and you're sick of hearing about The Shift and what a great film it is and why you should support it. So you know what? Let's look at the other side. There are plenty of reasons to not invest in The Shift. So here we go. Top 10 reasons to not invest in The Shift. Number 10. Being involved in the making of a feature film is exciting and fun and deeply rewarding. And the last time you did something exciting and fun, you were rewarded with a broken hip. There. Number 9. Weirdly, you have an aversion to bricks. So many bricks. Number 8. Jesus' name is spoken clearly, and you prefer his name muttered or sung in a limerick.
There once was a man named Jesus, and he went looking for some cheeses, but he thought...
That's enough. Number 7. You're a vegetarian, and all that meat eating grosses you out. Okay, we can see that, but to be fair, so was she. She was pretty grossed out. She was a vegetarian actress. Number 6, there's a prayer in it, and you hate prayer. It is your least favorite part of worship, right after reading the Bible. Number 5, there are relatable characters in the film with flaws and problems you can identify with. And only perfect people without struggle are interesting to you. Remind me never to let you pick the movie on movie night. Number 4, you hate being a part of putting something good out into the world. People have already been comforted in their trials and sorrows and have had their hearts changed and their lives touched by the shift, but sure, okay, maybe that's not your thing. Number 3, faith-based films are just fine the way they are, thank you very much, and they should never be different or appeal to anyone new. Number 2, you hate money. There's a potential return on your investment here, and, money is coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. No, wait, that's sand. And finally, number 1, the shift portrays Satan as bad, and you don't like that message. What, did he buy you lunch or something once? What?
Just have a coffee, please.
Are you sure it's my treat?
Coffee's fine.
Kevin will have a coffee.
So there you are. Those are your top 10 reasons to not invest in The Shift. Now, if you would disagree with those reasons and you'd like to join us, you can do that right now at studios.vidangel.com/The Shift. We hope you'll join us. And if you don't, I don't know, was it the meeting? Was that the one? I don't know.
Hey, this is Brock. I hope you'll partner with us by backing the project at studios.vidangel.com/theshift. We only have until September 30th to get our full funding, and we can't do it without you.
All right, so there you go. There's your full justification, 10 justifications for not investing in the shift. However, there are several people who disagree with every single one of those reasons.
Who did it anyway.
Who did it anyway. And I want to shout those people out. These are recent investments that we've gotten within the last 24 hours, and we're very excited about them, and we want to thank those people personally. First of all, Lisa in Pennsylvania. Lisa is a return investor, and she added an additional $4,000 to her initial investment. Lisa, thank you so much.
Weren't you supposed to
a
sing
rock
that
star.
one?
No, only the ones that come in during. Lisa will forgive me. Only the ones that come in during
like
the
that's
live
a
stream.
loophole.
No, it is a loophole, and I'm going to exploit it. And David in Kentucky partnered with us for $500. Thank you, David.
Woohoo!
Kevin in Indiana for $250. Thank you so much, Kevin. McKay in Montana. I do believe I know who that McKay
I know
is.
that
McKay in
McKay.
Montana is my brother. Thank you,
Aw.
McKay. $500. Matthew in South Carolina partnered with us also for $500.
I love
Thank
that
you,
it's
Matthew.
all over the country.
Right? It's everywhere.
That's so cool.
Brandon in California partnered with us for $100. Maria in Oregon also, thank you, Brandon. Maria in Oregon also partnered with us for $100. Thank you, Maria. Mildred in Tennessee with $100. Mildred, thank you
Mildred.
so much. It means the world. It literally
And
does.
your name is awesome.
And your name is awesome. You have an aunt.
I do. I
Yeah.
have an Aunt Mildred.
Yes. And David in Oregon with $250. David, thank you for your partnership. Mary, and this just keeps going. Mary in Utah with $400. Mary, thank you so much. And Tyler in California with $100. Thank you, Tyler. And Patrick in California partnered with us also for $100. Patrick,
So cool.
thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Love seeing all that come in. It is astonishing to see. Okay, it is time to bring out our first guest. This man is someone who is very important to the shift and to whom we all owe a debt of gratitude.
And the nicest guy.
And the nicest guy you're ever going to meet. Neal Harmon, the CEO of VidAngel. Neal, how's it going?
Great.
Oh,
How
hey,
are
that
you
is
doing?
Good. How are you doing? You changed clothes from when we saw
I'm
you last.
outside and it's getting a little chilly, so I put on a sweatshirt.
Well, it's a very appropriate sweatshirt. I see the VidAngel logo there.
You can see Rufus here. He's
Oh, look at that.
coming to hang out with me.
I'm so jealous that you're cold outside.
You're jealous?
Oh, yeah. It's 100 here today.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hot.
Oh, okay.
It's 100 currently.
It's 100 current.
Right
Not
now.
in here.
No, not in here,
But
but,
out
like
there,
outside. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty warm. It's pretty warm. Well, hey, thank you for coming on with us. I know you're a busy guy, especially today with the big news that was announced, and we're going to get to that. I definitely want to hear from you about that. But I was hoping first you could just tell us a little bit, just about VidAngel for those that don't really know. Maybe they've only come to the shift through Facebook and they haven't really ventured over. But just like, what is VidAngel and why is it important to you?
You bet. And if you hear strange sounds, forgive the ducks or the dog or the neighbor's lawnmower. But outside was the best place to do this. So VidAngel is started in 2013, and it was created by four brothers, and we wanted to create a system for our young children that would allow us to watch really, really great stories, but skip some stuff that we don't want repeated in our home. So one of my favorite movies is Cinderella Man. And I wanted to share that with at the time, my son was 11. And there's a boy in that movie who gets taught a lesson about honesty that I wanted my son to experience. But the coach in that movie has a New Yorker mouth on him, and he just swears up a storm, which, it's a great movie. I just, if you've ever had young children, they're like sponges. As soon as they hear something, they try it out for comic effect or whatever on their siblings, and we just didn't want this stuff repeated. So we said, hey, let's see if we can solve this problem, and let's see if there are other people who want to solve this problem. We found out that about almost half of American parents would use a service like this. And so we decided to launch VidAngel. And our goal when we decided to launch it was to attract an audience of people who were like-minded, who wanted to protect their families, who want to experience great stories. And then we hoped one day to be able to also distribute better stories to this same audience. So that was a goal way back in the day, and we didn't reveal that goal until we got sued, which I'm sure you'll ask me about that in the future. But anyway, VidAngel's been around for 7 years, and our motto is make entertainment good for your home, and we help you make entertainment good for your home. The tagline on the website is "Watch however the bleep you want."
Right. Love that.
The company right now is under a major transition, and we can talk more about that tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, I love that story, and it speaks so much to why we use VidAngel. I think we've been using it. What year did VidAngel launch?
So we launched in 2014, if I remember right.
That sounds about right.
But we've been through like 6 versions of our system and trying to figure out how to pay the studios and give families what they want. But I think we did version number 1. We tried to launch in February or early 2014.
Yeah. So we probably came in just after that. We came in under the system that you got sued for. That's what I know.
Okay.
So for sure.
That system was system number. Let's see. There was Chromecast, YouTube. We tried to partner with Google Play. That was number 4. So that was the DVD Blu-ray system. Yep.
Right. So we were immediate fans. It was affordable. It made sense. It was and what really impressed me was the technology, just the ease of like being able to individually select exactly what I want to see and exactly like the full control was in our hands. And I'd seen other systems that were similar. They didn't give me that much control. It was really somebody else deciding for me what I shouldn't and should see. And you guys put all the control in our hands, which is what just flabbergasted me so much when it came down to, you guys getting sued. And I mean, I know the studios they don't like anybody messing with anything, but really, just the fact that we had the control of that, essentially what you gave us was a fancy remote control. It comes down to the mute button and it comes down to the skip button. And all you're doing is you're just making that much easier to access. And in a way that's very efficient, and then I'm not having to sit there constantly and do it myself. I do it all before the show starts, and that's really all VidAngel comes down to. And it's genius.
I was on an interview with an older man who told me the story of his father getting a television, and they refused to get a television for years and years until he could get a television and he could have a wire hooked to the power button, so that if something came on that he didn't want his family to see, he would just yank it. And I said, "Hey, you guys invented the first version of VidAngel." Anyway, it was on this radio interview, and parents and mothers and others have been, muting or skipping or fast forwarding or
my
closing
dad
their
used to like stand up in front of the TV and like block.
There you go.
Like full body.
Yeah, but it was really important to us to develop a system where it was the family's choice on what happened, because we actually really believe in creators, and we believe in creators being able to tell their story the way they choose to, and especially in the public sphere. But then we also believe in families, and that when you cross the threshold of the home, the creator doesn't have a say on whether mom stands in front of the television. So, or that she hires somebody like VidAngel to go and make it easier for her to do it.
Right. One of the questions that I got from some of my friends when they found out the shift was going on to VidAngel, they were like, because some of my friends, have a different point of view. They work in the industry, some of them, and they're like, I don't really like the fact that VidAngel allows you to do this. And, so we've had some good discussions about that. And, it might basically come down on, hey, when it's in my house, I get to decide these things. That's really what it's about. And then their rejoinder to me was always, well, would you like it if your film is, you have the film out there, and then somebody goes and starts, messing with it and editing it. And I was like, yeah, I'm putting my film on VidAngel, and that's exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be filters on there, and people can do whatever they want, and I'm totally fine with that. I encourage people to do it to their taste. I, of course, prefer the version that I made, but there are 12 filters. There are 12 filters for the shift. And if you have...
You can use them all.
And you can use them all if you want. And that's totally fine, because at the end of the day, I want you to see what I've created, however it is comfortable for you and makes sense for you and your family, because our families deserve to have those choices. And honestly, I want quality entertainment. And I know there's a lot of good stuff out there that is well made and artistic, and I love it. And there are some things that I prefer not to see, but it doesn't ruin the experience, not for me. And if I'm not exhibiting publicly, I don't understand what the objection could be. But of course, the studios had a huge objection, and they made that objection known. And one of the things that we've encountered as we've done this campaign is, it's been a common thing where somebody will come to me and say, well, how does what VidAngel is going through with the bankruptcy and everything, how does that affect you? That's been the big question. So I'm going to turn that around to you, and I know that, and the great news is that we're past this. So we're talking about something that's thankfully, finally, is past tense.
Yay.
But for a lot of people who may or may not be familiar with the details, can you tell us just a little bit about what you guys have just gone through and what's going on now?
So what we went through is on system number 4, just briefly, we met with an attorney in Hollywood who had worked in Hollywood for 30 years and said, we're having this problem. Everything we try to do gets stonewalled by the studio system. We get shut down. We get told no. How do we do this? And he read the law, and there's a law called the Family Movie Act, and he helped us develop a system, the one that you used, that he said met the confines of the law, paid the studios what they were entitled to be paid, and gave the family what they were able to do under the law. And then he said, let's write all the studios and let them know about this system and how it benefits them, and then get feedback. And so we did. And we didn't get any feedback, and we sent follow-up letters to them, and we didn't get any feedback. So our lawyer just said, let's go ahead and launch it. And we did. And a year after this, you and others became aware of it, and it became pretty popular. I mean, it wasn't hugely popular. I mean, there were a few 100,000 people using the system, but it was popular, and we asked our investors or our customers to do something like what you're doing right now. We said, hey guys, do you want this product to improve? You can invest in VidAngel if you're interested. Let us know if you're interested. 2 weeks after we sent out that message to just a 1/4 of our customers at the time, we had $62.4 million of interest in investing.
Holy crud.
Or no, it was 62 million even, I think. And then somebody came to my door at the office, a private investigator, and handed me a Walt Disney Company lawsuit. So they sued us 2 weeks after, and apparently they had somebody, spying on us that whole time, and they sued us to keep us from getting the money. And we went back to our investors and we said, hey guys, we're in trouble. Disney just sued us, and Disney's like the biggest media company in the world, and they pretty much put everyone out of business that they ever sue, and at least startup companies. And we're in trouble. We still want to fight this for you, but we need enough resources to take this to the Supreme Court. And we opened it up for investment, and we got $10 million in about 5 days, and people wanting us to fight this battle. And unfortunately, the battle was in Los Angeles, and by the time we had that money, we no longer could fight the venue and get it moved out of Los Angeles, and we lost. And that's the long and short of it, is we lost there. And then we got what I felt like was a totally unjust trial that was structured to try to put us out of business. And guess what the judgment was? $62 million, which is what the customers wanted to put into the company. So,
Wow.
so we had this $62 million judgment, and everybody just said, "You guys are dead. This is the end of VidAngel. There's no way you survive this." And and Disney, sure enough, marched into our bankruptcy court and said, "There's no way this company survives. There's no way they ever pay this off.
Yeah.
Done. Shut these guys down. Send them home. We want to make an example out of this company." And well, right after the lawsuit began and after the judges asked us to shut down, we did that dream that we always had of turning it into a distribution company, and we launched VidAngel Studios, and we started shooting dry bar comedy. And then we also started looking for our first dramatic series, which ended up being The Chosen. You're having a guest from The Chosen come on tomorrow.
Yes,
And it turns out that these first two projects were hugely successful. What a blessing that we succeeded on our first two efforts. And Dry Bar's doing over 1 billion views a year.
Wow.
And The Chosen is making enough money to fund, a season a year at least. And the trustee who came into the bankruptcy said to the judge, "Judge, this company's doing so well, they can pay off the entire judgment." And Disney's like, "No, we don't want that." No, we don't want them paying off the judgment. We want them to stop filtering and leave our stuff alone instead of paying off the judgment. Anyway, this goes into a big old fight and in the bankruptcy court where they don't. It's so funny that they don't want us to pay off the $62.4 million with interest.
Right.
Instead, they want us to just never touch their stuff again and go away.
Right.
Anyway, we have finally. Oh goodness, I got a weed eater next door. We finally. We had tried to settle with them umpteenth times, so many times, and they finally came to the table when they saw that our numbers kept going up and up and up, and they said, "Okay, we're ready to settle." And and there's a lot of details behind that I won't get into. But
You're doing a good job editing it down.
Yeah, we will go. We went to our investors and we said to the 8,000 people who invested the $10 million, "Guys, we can continue to fight this lawsuit, and we will, with everything that we have. We'll take it all the way. But there's a lot of risk there, and you guys are investors, and we don't know if we'll win, right? We're in the California court system. We don't know if we'll win, and or we're doing really, really well with our original content business. We could just focus on that and get out of this lawsuit." And the investors have voted to settle, and we finally did get to a settlement. That settlement was entered about a few weeks ago, and tomorrow is the effective date of our bankruptcy, where we totally leave bankruptcy.
Wow.
Amazing.
And a miracle has happened. It truly is a miracle. Like no one's ever survived something like this. And the fact that the company went to zero revenue, got a $62.4 million judgment, was doing well enough to pay off the whole thing, and then Disney decided, "All right, we've had it. We're going to settle with you." It's just a miracle.
Yeah. No, it is a miracle. It's incredible. I think the day that we first met face to face was the day you guys found this out. Or it was that week. I don't know if you remember that. But we were visiting in Utah, and we'd had a number of conversations on the phone and things. And I thought, well, we should go and say hi to the guys at VidAngel. And you looked like somebody had kicked your puppy. That's what you looked like. And I was wondering what was going on. And then you had to. I remember you had to go to your kid's soccer game or something. And so then I sat down with Jeff, your brother, and he gave me the whole lowdown, and I couldn't believe it. And that was right around the time when we were really starting to get our efforts together for the shift. And so the timing just seemed horrible for everybody all around. There was just no good news to be had. And to go from that day and to be talking with you now and hearing all of this, I mean, how is it not a miracle? How is it not? It doesn't make any sense because, as you said, Disney Disney designed that whole thing to put you guys out of business. They don't need $62 million. That's not going to make or break them. That's nothing. Right. That's not, it wasn't about money for them at all. It couldn't ever be about money for them, not when they have that much. But they figured, we'll put you guys out of business, and it didn't work. It's amazing.
And people get confused because they're like, "Why is Disney suing this family-friendly company? You know, there must be something wrong." But you know, Disney puts on a very good face because they do such great content, right?
They do.
But their business and legal people are some of the most lethal on earth. Like they negotiate and sue and take a hard line on everything, and what we learned through this process is that a technology like ours brings all the rest of the studio content into competition with Disney, right? And then Disney, during the lawsuit, also launched Disney Plus, and they're trying to go head-to-head with Netflix. And so if this kind of technology takes off, then Netflix is better able to compete with Disney. Anyway, it doesn't bode well for their view of the world. And we just decided, ultimately, we're just burning too many brain cells fighting these guys. Let's just go do a better job. Yeah. Let's just go do a better job. Let's just do a better job of telling the story. And like The Shift, and like The Chosen, and like Dry Bar, let's just show the world a better way to do it, and then we win.
Yeah, no, and it's so needed. And we got a comment here for you from Anita. She says, "Neal Harmon, you are changing lives. Triple hearts. Thank you for being obedient to God's calling." You know, and that's it right there. You know, I think what you just said is so appropriate. It's needed. There's a gap in our entertainment that isn't being filled, and you guys are coming in with something like The Chosen, with something like The Shift, and the other things that I know that you have coming up, and they're going to fill that gap. And to me, and you describe it the way you want to describe it, but to me, the way I perceive that gap is as, you know, family friendly or family appropriate content that's actually really good. That's what I think of as the VidAngel brand, that it's actually really good. And you have to say that when you describe family content, I think, because I think our perception of what family content is and what family appropriate is, I think Hollywood's perception of that is stuff that's kind of dumbed down.
And obnoxious.
And obnoxious, with the exception of some of the higher tier Pixar and Disney stuff. Yep. You know, I feel like when we think of family friendly, we don't think of things that, like, for example, an adult story like The Shift. The Shift is not made for kids, neither is The Chosen. But they could be watched with kids, and the kids don't have to run away from the room.
And Violet loves both.
And Violet loves both. Our 9-year-old loves The Chosen and loves The Shift. So, you know, but it's not made for her. And that kind of content used to be prevalent. It used to be everywhere. But Hollywood has slowly just kind of whittled it away, and I don't think they're really interested in telling stories like that. But we are, you know, and I know you are.
Yep. And this is a story retold. To be honest, this is a story retold. And the ironic thing is that Hollywood shares VidAngel's story. Like, the people who started Hollywood, they started in a movie industry that was based in New Jersey, and it was controlled by Thomas Edison and his movie cartel. And they had a bunch of patents that they could control the distribution, production, the performance of movies. And a lot of the creators just got sick of the oppressive restrictions. Like, they said, you only can make your movies so long. You can't put the actors' names in the movies because then we're going to have to pay them more. And the creators are like, no, we want to give them credit. And we want to make longer stories. And the movie cartel was like, nope, you have to follow our rules. So they just headed west, and they just went out to Los Angeles and started their own little movie town in Hollywood, and then spent the next 100 years making movies. And no one knows that the new movie business ever existed in New Jersey.
You're educating me right now.
Yeah, the Hollywood made the best story, and so everybody thinks Hollywood is where it's at. That's where the stories are told. And they became the #1 export of the world's largest economy. But now here we are 100 years later, and 4 Idaho farm boys go and they start protesting. Like, Hollywood drifts away from what homes in America actually want to see. They have their own cultural bubble, and they're getting further and further apart from the average family. And so we go and we start VidAngel, and we protest essentially, and then we try to be part of the system, and the system rejects us and rejects us and rejects us and rejects us, and we try and try and try. Well, guess what? It's time to pick up our feet, head to our own spot, and make our own stuff. And maybe in 100 years, who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? At this point, I would not bet against you. I think betting against you is a really, really bad idea, and that works very much in our favor, I think, because that means betting towards you or for you is a good idea. We have a question. This is a perfect tee up. I think you can take this one. This is from Andrea. She says, "Have you ever considered doing animation?"
Well, it's funny you should mention that. So when you go over and you make your, who's this from? Andrea, you said?
Andrea is her name.
Andrea. So Andrea, when you go over and make your 3, 4, or 5-digit investment in the shift, also swing by the main page of VidAngel Studios, and you'll see a new project called Tuttle Twins. And this project is just launched today, and it is an animated series that is a mixture of, you can think of it like the humor of The Simpsons. I mean, maybe some people think The Simpsons are offensive, but The Simpsons is very good writing, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then the teaching of like the Magic School Bus, and they're going to teach the principles of freedom through an animated series.
Cool.
So that sounds amazing.
Yes, that's going to be our first animated project. Is called Tuttle Twins.
Very cool.
There you go. I don't know if Andrea had the inside track on that or what, but that was such a great question.
That's how good the Shift fans are.
That's how good they are. They're on the pulse. Kara says, family content that is actually really good. What a concept. So thankful for VidAngel. Agreed, Kara.
Well, and so grateful for VidAngel for believing in the Shift at a time when it was hard to see forward.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, the feeling's mutual. We're grateful to the comedians of Dry Bar, to Dallas of The Chosen, and to Brock and Aaron Heasley for believing in us and seeing the vision through a very dark time. And now we're reaping the rewards of making it through that dark time. And I think you guys are as well.
Yeah, no, I think so. We've been patiently waiting for this day, and here we are. And, we don't have a lot of time left, but I feel really good about what's happening right now and the time that we do have. And we just had a new investment come in. Speak of the devil, but no. I guess that's slightly appropriate for this. I don't know. Edward in Louisiana just partnered with us for $200. Thank you so much, Edward. Oh, they can't even see me. Thank you, Edward. We so appreciate that. So let's talk about the Shift for a little bit. Tell us how the Shift landed on your doorstep and why you felt like it was a good pick. Really, essentially, to follow The Chosen. That's what we ended up doing. Tell us what was your take on it? You saw that. How did it even cross your desk?
If my memory, it's been a while. It's been a long time ago. But in my memory, I think it was Brad Reese who shared it with me, and he said, "I like this. I think you should check this out, Neal." And I watched it, and I thought, I was just totally taken into the story. I believe it or not, even though I program and do a lot of the business side of things, when I was young, I was the one who loved to draw. I was more of a creative, soul. Uh-huh. And when I watched that, I was just totally taken in at what kind of a story you took me through on clearly the lowest budget that you could possibly have. But I didn't feel like it was low budget. I just knew when I learned more about it, I was just like, I'm totally into this. I wasn't thinking about the budget. I was only thinking about wow, this is such a compelling story, and I was moved by this story, and it was the closest experience I had had out of the hundreds of projects that I had reviewed to the experience that I had watching The Shepherd for the first time.
Yeah.
And so
which is a high compliment, and I'll take it.
Neal, I don't know if you remember, but the first time we chatted on the phone, I was listening, I wasn't chatting, but you asked Brock how much it had cost to make the shift, and he said 500, and you said 500 what? And Brock said $500.
Yeah, I don't think you guys knew how much because I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't put that in because I submitted it through your system to basically just to try to get it to be on the site to be streamed. And I don't think I put in there how much the budget was because I didn't want to prejudice you guys against it. But then you asked me directly, and I was like, okay, here we go. We're going to either lose him or he's going to think we're awesome. It's going to go, one or the other. And
it was the awesome category.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. But yeah, no, it was. That's cool. To be compared with The Chosen at all, which people do, and sometimes they compare it unfavorably. I've gotten the comments of, oh, well, it's not as polished as The Shepherd, and I'm like, I really hope it's not as polished as The Shepherd. If after all of Dallas's years of experience in making films, and my first film for $500, if they're comparable in polish, I think Dallas has got it. That's an insult to him. So I'm glad that it not quite as good as The Shepherd, but still pretty good. I think that's kind of where it landed.
And that was another thing that helped is when we showed it to Dallas really and when he read some of your writing, he really saw a vision for that you have a sense for this that he seldom sees, and so he sees a really bright future for you as a filmmaker, storyteller.
Yeah, and
I'm sure he'll cover that tomorrow. I think you've got him on tomorrow, so.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be talking to Dallas, and he's been very Dallas is a very straightforward person, and that comes to things that he thinks need to be corrected or different, and things that
That's right.
that he also is a fan of, and his compliments. He's straightforward both ways, and he's been extremely complimentary of my work, and to my surprise, my first contact with Dallas was actually an email to you, and I said, hey Neal, do you think you could hit Dallas up just to watch The Shift and just maybe he can give us a quote? Because at that point, what was The Shift? The Shift was a film nobody had heard of from a person nobody had heard of. And I just thought, well, if we can I feel like this Dallas guy is on the way up. So if I can just kind of draft off of him just a little bit with a quote for The Shift, that was really my aspiration. And you were kind enough to go ahead and pass it to him, and then he did. He watched it and he enjoyed it, thank goodness, and gave us this great quote that's still on the website today. And yeah, as you said, he read some of my writing, and now we're working together, and I couldn't be more thrilled about that. I'm going to also be visiting The Chosen set next month, which I'm very excited about. And
where's your beard?
Where's my beard, man? If I could grow a beard, believe me, I would. It's a pretty sad.
You're
thing.
Welcome, America.
It's all white and red too.
Oh, so you're not going there to be an extra.
No, not to be an extra. Not to be an extra. I think I'm too
He's
white.
He's going
anyway.
there to dance.
Not that either. No, I'm going there to learn.
Good. Well, we look forward to seeing you here in Utah.
Yeah. Are you going to be visiting the set as well?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be out. Well, with all the COVID restrictions, I won't be there as often as I. Yeah. I mean, I probably went more often when it was in Texas than I will now in Utah, but.
Which is so sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes sense. No, yeah, I hope I get to see you then. Well, great. Any final words for us? Any final thoughts? I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got a lot going on right now. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the announcement. I want to hear what you can tell us about that. I know we've just talked about VidAngel's coming out of, bankruptcy. The Chosen has been going. The Shift has been going. But now, as I understand it, it's you guys are pivoting hard. We talked about the Tuttle Twins into VidAngel original content, and the big announcement was today about that.
Yes. So we announced to our customers that we're officially out of bankruptcy, and that as part of that process, we're taking down all the third-party content, and we're going to certify it to make sure that we don't have any Disney or Warner Brothers stuff. But we did this in conjunction with the announcement that as a company, we're voting with our feet, and we're going to go and do a better job of telling stories, and there will be an accompanying, rebrand and in a year, people won't think of our company as a filtering company anymore. They're going to think of us as a studio, and that's going to be a good change. And you can see the power of making that change. Like,
Oh yeah.
really, like the people who are telling the stories are the ones who are having the impact. The Band-Aid that we created, that was VidAngel, was just a Band-Aid. It was skipping a few things. But if you want to do a better job of telling stories, then come join us. And we think that the brand will be centered around be part of the story, or be part of stories that matter. And that refers to all of you on this live stream. The brand will be focused not on us. Disney Brothers was focused on Walt and Roy Disney. It's not going to be Harmon Brothers. It's going to be named after all of you who are the audience, and you audience are the heroes in this story. You're the heroes because you invested $8,000 or $10 million from 8,000 families to save VidAngel. You're the heroes because 19,000 of you invested into The Chosen. You're the heroes because your feedback is what got the comedians to do better content, and you're the heroes because you're going to make the shift happen. And that's what this company will be about, is helping create that connection, that direct connection between the audience and the creator, and creating a feedback loop. And so I just invite all of you to be part of this story. Be part of the solution. Don't despair about what's going on. Don't despair about your lack of impact on culture. Just have enough faith to say, I can actually help change this. And you can do it tonight, just one step at a time. So
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I think that's a fantastic goal, and I think what you're talking about is not dissimilar to what Netflix did, in the sense that Netflix started off as a rental company, started making their own content, and now they're the juggernaut in the entertainment industry. And I think that obviously what you're doing is very different from Netflix, but that there's a model for success that's already in this in what you're doing. We can point to that and say what your idea is here is gonna work, and I think that it will. I think that the type of content that you're going to be creating, that we're creating already, and that is going to be coming out of VidAngel Studios, I just see this massive movement towards it, a massive need and a massive movement towards it.
Yeah, and it's going to be built on three pillars. And number one is that the audience is smarter than executive producers at picking the winning stories. So you guys are in the process right now of going through the audience deciding whether or not the shift is made. And we believe that if 100 stories are picked by the audience, they will beat out 100 stories picked by the Hollywood elite. Number two is if the creators, like you guys are communicating regularly with your audience, and the audience is regularly communicating with you, you're going to stay more in tune with what the audience needs. And then number three is that feedback loops are more powerful than rules-based systems. So the MPAA and Disney's standards, like you can't have a decapitation in a Disney movie. Fine, that sounds like a good idea. But they have specific ideas about what you have to do. It's their moral standard. And we feel like that this idea where the families get to choose in their own home what they do, but the creators get to learn from what the choices they're making, that's going to be more powerful than rating things G, PG, PG-13, R, or having Disney or Netflix decide what's right for your home. And so those three principles are going to outshine long term, we believe. And so here's to the next 100 years.
Yeah.
No, I think that's wonderful. And what I'm hearing you say with all of those principles, what they have in common is this idea of choice. That
That's
we
right.
get to choose what it is that we're going to see and what we're going to allow into our homes, which goes right back to why you guys started VidAngel in the first place. So it's brilliant and it makes sense. And I think to anybody who's got a family and is listening, it's got to make a heck of a lot of sense. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens.
So is Nino.
Yo, Nino in
Nino.
North Carolina just partnered with us for $500. Thank
Thanks,
you,
Nino.
Go,
Awesome.
Nino. Oh, way to partner with Brother.
And Andrea, who asked about the animated show earlier, she says, "You have sold me on VidAngel, sir." So I think you just got a new subscriber tonight.
So investments all around.
Yay. Awesome. Well, hey, Neal, we so appreciate it. Thank you for coming on and being with us. Now you got to go out and make it all happen, because I'm excited to see what happens next, and I'm so glad we get to be a part of it. Grateful to be a part of it.
We're going to make it happen, right? We're going to be the distributor for the shift.
Absolutely.
All of you who are on this live stream are going to be their backers, and we're all going to make it happen together.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Together. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
See ya.
Bye. All right. Back over to us.
Hey, there we are.
There we are. All right. Well, that was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
Neal is a lot of fun to talk to, and that was Neal unleashed and on a high, and not like when we saw him in Utah.
Oh no, that was so sad.
That was sad. That was sad for everybody. So it's great to see Neal.
We
on
left
top
that
of the
day and
world.
sat in the car and we're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, we marched in there all happy
We were
and like,
excited.
oh, we're going to VidAngel, and we've been fans forever and we're working together, and we left
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
very, very sad. But
Yeah.
But
But here we are now.
But here we are now. And look, this is what we've seen, right? This is what happens when you're trying to do something that's good and that's positive and that's based around principles like choice and trying to do the right thing. There's an opposition to that. Okay, that's what the shift is about. It's about the fact that there is an opposition, and it's going to keep coming at you. And the only way through it is to maintain your faith and just not stop being faithful, not stop praying, not stop trying to be led and doing the right thing. And eventually, even though sometimes it's not going to seem like it, things are going to work out for you. And that working out often looks like a miracle. And I feel like that's the story that Neal told tonight. Neal told a very, if I can quote, coin a new term that's probably going to be terrible and I should immediately get rid of it. A very Shiftian story tonight. That's terrible. But that's
I don't know. I don't know if that's going on the shirt.
That's probably not going on the shirt. No, Shiftian's a terrible word. But I think you all understand what I'm saying. So we're grateful to be part of that. I mean, as he was talking, I was like, man, that's us. He's talking about us. Like, we're part of all of this.
I want a sweatshirt. I wanted to like.
I know, right? We should have gotten some
How do
apparel while we were
how do
there.
we work that out?
I think we got to go back to Utah.
Should we do that? Neal, call me.
We want shirts.
We
and
want
sweatshirts.
sweatshirt. It'll be cold someday here.
So we've shouted out a few investments tonight, and we are so grateful for them. We would love to shout out even more. And so, we're going to take a little bit of a break here in this, and I'm going to see where Leonardo is. He's coming up next. Leonardo Torres. He is coming to visit us. He's going to tell us his perspective as a non-Christian on the shift, which I'm very excited about because that's one of the audiences I made the shift for, is non-Christians. We don't want to exclude people just because it's a faith film. And that sounds insane, but I think it's totally possible, and I've seen it already happen. And so we're going to get that perspective from Leonardo. I want to show you a video right now while I go and interface with Leonardo and see what's going on with him. This is a video that we debuted last week. This is a table read. This is a scene from the shift.
I love this one.
This is the one that happens near the beginning of the film, of the feature film. This is not in the short film. We're going to show this one to you again because I think it's so much fun. And anytime I get together with you, I think about this scene because this scene, in no small part, is based on kind of us a little bit. In fact, I had a friend who read the script, and after he came back to me and he said, sounds like you and Aaron. That's what he said about this scene. So there's a little bit of how we talk in this, and I think that's only natural. But I hope you enjoy it. This is a peek into the feature film, not in the short film at all, and you're only going to see it on this live stream or these live streams. So here we go. Where is that? There we go. Okay, here we are with Nicole and Greg. Nicole and Greg are two actors here in Fresno, friends of mine, and they have agreed to read part of the script of The Shift that you have never heard before. And very, very grateful to them for coming. Nicole will be playing the part of Molly tonight. And of course, Nicole is a very accomplished actress here in Fresno. And we have Greg who will be playing the part of Kevin. And Greg, you recognize as Kevin from the Shift short film. So we're very grateful to have you both here. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to be reading a scene that happens very, very early in the film. It's not the very beginning of the film, but it's close to the beginning of the film. And this is where Kevin and Molly meet. And it's an extremely important scene because you really get the sense from this scene, I think, of what their story is, that there is a love story at the heart of The Shift. And you don't necessarily get that idea from the short film. And of course, we want to remember too that this is a script reading. These actors are amazing, but they have not they're not together. Obviously, they're in different places. And this is a reading. So this isn't a lot of the fancy stuff that we're going to do in the movie. We're not able to do right now, but they're very good actors, and you're going to get a good sense of what the scene is like. So, all right, you guys ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Ready.
All right, here we go. Let me scroll up to the beginning. And interior bar, hotel. Let's try that again. Interior, hotel bar, night. A glass is filled with beer on tap. It slides over to Kevin, sitting at the bar. He is withdrawn into himself, ignoring the drink in favor of the gold sobriety coin he spins and fiddles with his fingers. The bartender gives Kevin a sideways glance and shakes his head. The TV above the bar plays the news of the just begun housing crisis. Kevin is startled by a burst of laughter from a group of girlfriends at a table behind him. The sobriety coin drops and rolls away, disappearing over the edge of the bar. The glass of beer stares at Kevin. He tries to resist, but it's no use. Why shouldn't he drink? Today, he needs it. He grabs the glass and brings it to his lips.
Well, there's the saddest, most pathetic man I've ever seen.
Kevin, stopped cold, turns and looks to see the most self-possessed, beautiful woman he's ever laid eyes on.
I'm sorry, what?
You just look so sad sitting here like this.
This is a hotel bar. I'm alone. How am I supposed to look?
No, it's fine. I happen to like sad men.
Oh, really? Well, no, that's pathetic.
Your flirting game leaves a lot to be desired, my friend.
Kevin smiles. She's funny.
You came up to me.
Only because they dared me to.
Molly glances back at her group of girlfriends seated at a table. They're trying to contain their laughter and failing miserably. One of them snaps a pic with her phone. Kevin realizes he's still holding his drink and puts it down. He's intrigued.
So what's the dare?
To talk to you. Find out what your deal is so you become interested and ask me out. They say I'm overcommitted.
To what?
Work. I'm finishing up my PhD in psychology. Watch out. I read people pretty well.
Oh, what'd you read on me? I mean, besides the whole sad thing.
Not sure yet. It's actually quite the dangerous dare now that I think about it.
How so?
You could be a serial killer trapping women with your lonely, tortured soul routine.
That's a leap.
And are you like a bad serial killer or a heroic one?
Wait, there's heroic serial killers?
Of course there are. Think about it. What do serial killers do, really? They give in to all their black thoughts until they commit horrible, horrible crimes. We're all capable of that, right?
Yeah, there's a part of me that wants to kick puppies, like, all the time.
So what if there are people out there who have these dark impulses constantly and they choose to fight them every day?
Huh. Some do and some don't.
The ones that don't, serial killers. But the ones that do...
Well, they'd be heroes. I mean, they'd have to be.
But no one would ever know.
No, be suffering silently. I mean, for our sakes.
Heroic serial killers.
Huh. You may have a point. Huh.
So
what? Am I a serial killer? I mean, tell me.
Yeah, what's your deal?
See that?
Kevin points up at the TV news reporting on the firing of all Bear Stearns employees today.
That's me.
Ouch. Fair though, right? You hedge fund types. Gotta admit you had it coming.
Yeah.
Kevin looks forlorn. Molly is about to say something to back off the nerve she clearly struck, but Kevin shakes it off before she can.
Buy you a drink?
Oh, I don't drink. Sharon, though, she's a lush.
Molly waves back to her friends. They give her a confused look that says she's been talking to the sad man for way too long, but one of them, definitely Sharon, raises her cocktail in drunk acknowledgement.
Pass.
I just don't know if I'm ready for this.
Kevin.
Kevin. Molly. Hi.
The way Molly says Kevin's name is the sound of someone settling into the warmest, fuzziest sweater made just for them. It's at this moment he knows he's completely smitten.
Where's this going, Kevin? Are we up for this? I didn't come over here honestly expecting a date, but I feel like that's where this is heading.
Maybe I do find you attractive, oddly enough.
Backhanded, but fair. So the idea is we go out, we have fun together, and then what? Maybe we kiss?
Hopefully.
Sure, I can get behind that. Okay, so 5th date.
Whoa, 5th date?
Yes, try to keep up. After the 5th date, we're starting to be a part of each other's lives. Now it's a real thing. You're introducing me to your friends. We're shopping together for dinner, and I'm taking you to my church. But do you even go to church? Do you even go?
I guess I do now.
You're so sweet. Gross. And because you're so sweet, you do something crazy to show your love, and I'm crying, and my friends are happy for me, and we, the two of us, we're just the best.
Sounds like a huge commitment.
The biggest. Does that scare you?
Yes. Yeah.
Me too. This is what I've been trying to tell my friends. Having another person in your life is just so much, and I have enough going on right now, and then there's the bad thing that happens.
What's the bad thing?
I have no idea, but it will happen. Life will happen and we'll be tested. It's inevitable. And when two people come together...
It just means that they have that much more to lose.
Exactly. Can we weather a storm together, Kevin? Are we capable of that? Oh, sure, I'm fabulous and you're sweet, so I'll try to be there for you and you'll do your best to comfort me. But what if we can't be that for each other? What if this bad thing that's going to happen, what if the bad thing tears us apart? Now, does that sound like something either of us wants to endure?
If you had asked me this a few hours ago, I'd have told you no. But the worst thing, literally the worst thing that ever happened to me just happened. I lost my job. And now I'm here with you. And it doesn't seem that bad anymore.
Molly is visibly struck by Kevin's vulnerability.
See, Kevin, here's the thing. I'm really busy. I don't have time for all that, especially with the sad, fired hedge fund bro. So while I appreciate you being a good listener and all, I think you can see this is a bad idea.
Okay. So can I buy you a drink?
I told you, I don't drink.
Yeah, me neither. You know, I heard there was this new tea place nearby. It's pretty non-committal and chill. Do you drink tea?
I would love some tea.
And that was it. Great job, guys. That was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today and showing that off. You guys know what are you saying?
Off so I just was like, good. That was good. But yeah, of course it was. Dang it.
No, I mean, you guys did a great job. I really appreciate it. No, thank you so much for doing this. Seriously, taking some time out of your day, and I very much appreciate it. Did you have fun?
Great. Yeah, I love coming together, acting with you guys. Nicole, it was good being with you again, and Brock, anytime.
Appreciate it. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Molly will have a tea.
Molly will have a tea, yes.
It doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it's not quite the same.
But this is Molly's mug tonight.
Hey, look at that. That's the actual mug they used in the film. No prop we aren't willing to pay for. We'll just pull from our kitchen.
That's correct. So cheers.
Cheers. So we have a goal tonight. We're about to bring Leonardo Torres on, but we want to review our goals for tonight. So tonight we had a goal of reaching $140,000 in investment. I think we're getting killed a little bit by the presidential debate that's going on, and hopefully I didn't remind somebody just now that's going on. Those of you that are here and watching us, thank you. Thank you for being here. It is amazing. to have you, and that you're not watching that. We know also though that what happens a lot of times with these is that a lot of people come to these live streams after they're over and they get to watch them all on their own time.
What did last night's view?
Last night was crazy. I think we ended the live stream with like between 1.2 and 1.5 thousand views, and now it's had over 8,000 views. So 8 times more people came and watched it afterwards.
Do you think people were worried about Dan? Do you think they were like, help free Dan Hasseltine?
Why is Dan trapped by ISIS?
Yes. Do you think that's what it was?
Yeah, no. We got a comment here from Andrea. She says, I love how Molly is written. If she's based on Aaron, which I can totally believe, then Brock married very well. Aww. And so did Aaron, because Brock sees what makes her so brilliant. Oh, well, that's very sweet.
Andrea.
That is very sweet, Andrea.
That's so
Thank
nice.
you. Yeah, no, I did marry well. I married up. And
that's true.
And Aaron is funny and clever and all of those things. And you wonder, watching that, where did it go so wrong with Molly and Kevin?
I thought you were going somewhere else.
No, not
I was
with
like,
us.
wait, what?
We've been married 20 years. We're fine. Everything's good. No, but you do. I mean, hopefully the question comes in your mind of what went wrong. And I'll tell you this.
The bad thing. Molly knew.
What is the bad thing?
Molly always knows.
What is the bad thing? And I'll tell you this. By the time you get to the end of that conversation in the movie, you will know exactly how their relationship went wrong.
Wow.
How does that make any sense? It will when you see the movie. You'll know exactly what went wrong for them. So yeah, we do have a goal of 140,000 tonight. If we reach that goal, what did I say I'll do?
I don't remember.
Oh, I will release the super secret behind the scenes video. All right. If we get to 140K, I will release the super secret behind the scenes. I know you haven't seen it in years.
Spoiler, I'm in it.
You are.
I don't know if that's a draw, but thought I'd share it anyway.
It's a draw for me. But yeah, so if you want to see that video, now's the time. Now's the time to come in with an investment. The presidential debate may be killing this goal, but we would love to see it happen.
But I love what Vicky said.
What did she say?
No, I'm sorry, Vicky too. But someone up here was like, I already know who I'm voting for.
I think most people do at this point, but we'll see. Andrea says, you are way more fun to watch than the presidential debate. I am not even voting for either one of those clowns.
Oh dear.
Andrea, you got to get the vote out. Come on. It's
voting is important.
Voting is super important.
But that's not till November.
It's not till November. That's true. Nobody's voting tonight. So maybe that's what she meant. I'm going to choose to say that's what she meant. All right. It is time to bring on Leonardo. Let's unmute him and let him in.
Yay.
Leonardo, are you there, sir?
I am here.
Awesome. We can hear you. It is so good to see you, and it's so good to have you on here.
Hey,
so grateful.
Good to be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's the first time I've seen you without your hat, too.
Yeah. I figured I'd change it up a little bit.
Heck yeah.
Maybe people won't recognize me today. I should wear it again.
No, it's great. So yeah, tell us, not everybody who's watching, they may not be totally familiar with you and your channel. So, plug away, tell us what it is that you do, and let's make sure we get people going over there and checking it out, and tell us about the response that you've been getting.
Okay. Well, my name is Leonardo Torres. I like how you rolled your R's, by the way. Excellent. Oh. And one of the times you said it was just like, it sounded Hispanic. I'm like, is he part Mexican? Maybe.
So I used to speak Spanish fluently.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, I don't anymore, but I used to. So some of it's still there. I have to really work at it. I'm not as good. Like you just sounded so smooth.
It was like butter.
Yeah, it was like butter. When I do it, it's kind of like I'm stumbling through butter and falling on my face. But
I used to speak it. I used to speak it fluently too. I still do, but I used to too.
That's good.
we met in Spanish class.
That's true.
No, you did. Yeah. Really?
Because, and I took the class, I took Spanish 1 because I was fluent, and I figured it would be an easy A. And so it was a 6-week course, and for the first 4 weeks I sat in the back, and I didn't let my teacher know that I could speak fluently, but then I had to give an oral presentation. And so I had this whole plan where I was going to get up there and I was going to deliver it like everybody else would, stumble through it and use really basic vocabulary. But I couldn't do it. And I finally was just like, screw it. And I just started talking.
And her face was like...
She was just like, but instead of being angry at me, she was so happy because finally there was somebody in the class who didn't sound like an idiot. And so we had this whole conversation while the rest of the class is watching us like, what is happening? Yeah. It was fantastic.
So did you go up to her and say, hello, señorita? Me gustan tus ojos, me gusta tu pelo.
I am not as smooth as you. I don't have that tone to my voice.
You just have to mimic the what is it? Puss in Boots?
Yes. That's
Antonio
exactly what
Bandera?
you said. If he ever wants to give up the role, I think you've got it covered.
Yes.
Oh, right, excellent. Well,
I'd vote for
I've
that.
got a job in the future, hopefully. I started a channel back in April. Actually, the channels existed before then. I was intending to put just performances of mine and some guitar lessons, because I used to play guitar at the local restaurants and promote myself as a musician, and I'd go and play at parties and stuff, Spanish stuff. My grandfather taught me all the romantic Spanish ballads and boleros and all the romantic stuff there. A lot of people enjoy. They like having just a nice quiet singer in the background. And COVID happened, and all of that came to a screeching halt. And then I said, I have a bigger story, because my faith has been, I've kept it to myself a lot. I kept a lot of it mostly to myself because I tell people experiences that I had, and they're like, "That's weird." Okay, so I just keep to myself. But I had this moment where my girlfriend, who's Christian, shout out to Erika La Chulada Ayala, who is Christian. I'd hang out with her, and she would listen to some music in the background, and Oceans really stuck with me, on a particular day. And I drove home, and I was listening to another version of it because I was looking for the original, but I couldn't find it because I thought, anyway, it's a longer story than that. But I get home, and I had this moment where I was listening to some rock music, some of my favorite music, and then suddenly this inner calling happens. I turn off my music, and I sit quietly, and a voice, what I call the Great Spirit, was like, "Hey man, so what do you want to do? What's next?" And I'm like, "I don't know." It's like, "Well, if you could do anything, what would you do?" And I'm like, "I don't know, just anything with music." He said, "Be specific." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'd like to critique some music." He's like, "Okay, well, go ahead and let's do reaction videos." I'm like, "Reaction videos to what?" And he's like, well, why don't we start off with Oceans? Well, that's Christian music. Nothing to do with it. Like, I don't know anything about Christian music. It's like perfect, because it'll be out of your element. It'll be out of the box for you, and you can, explore that and have fun exploring new music. And I'm like, okay, so I get on, I do Oceans, nothing for the first few weeks, and then suddenly I did a song called "Reckless Love" by Corey, and YouTube was actually going to shut my channel. Well, they were going to give me a strike against my channel for copyright, infringement with it. And for a reaction video, because it copyright, even if it's a reaction, for some reason YouTube was like, no. Bethel Music was like, nope, not having it. Wow. You can't use it. But La Familia, shout out to La Familia, all the supporters from the channel, they bombarded Corey Asbury with emails and messages, and they were like, "Dude, how can you do this to the guy? His life is obviously being affected by your music." And I thought we were supposed to be, this was about the Holy Spirit. And he messages me, and he's like, "Hey man, I want you to know I didn't have anything to do with this. I'm really sorry that your channel's like suffering through this, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to Bethel, and I'm gonna fix this right away." And then the next day, I received an email from Bethel saying like, "Hey, we're sorry that your channel is going to get a strike. You're good to go." And so they removed the strike, and they allowed me to use the song. And then that song just took off. The channel just blew up. And before you know it, like I was there. I went from 12 subscribers to now 61,000. I just hit today.
Wow.
No kidding. Oh my gosh.
Yesterday, yeah. So the community's been wonderful, and I've had the privilege, the honor to meet a lot of wonderful people. And I got a chance to chat with Dallas a week and a half ago, and it's been an interesting ride. That's and I'm a lot more open about my relationship with the Great Spirit, and everyone's been so wonderful and so accepting. Not everyone, but for the most part.
No, not on YouTube. That's not how YouTube works.
For the most part, yeah. That's not. I wish it would. It was rolling smooth, and up until I got to about 50,000. Then people were like,
Yeah.
But
then the fun stuff starts. You get the good content.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's always a mark that you've hit the level of, where like you've broken through this wall of now you're reaching beyond, just that initial rush of people that are, just going to like everything you do.
Right.
It's a threshold. It's a threshold that's important to hit. And it makes you tough. We've certainly had our haters as well. But not like The Chosen. As I like to say, the shift has not quite reached Chosen levels of hate.
Yes. But we love to sit around and read the hate. It's so funny.
The hate does make me laugh.
It's so hilariously specific.
Yes.
Always.
And also a little bit paralyzing, because sometimes you just want to go, that's not what I meant. But you're like, no, I'm not going to touch it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll walk in and I'll see Brock like sitting at the computer, like having that like, and I'm like, walk away.
Sometimes
walk away.
I will. Look, if somebody's coming at me honestly, right? If somebody's coming at me not as in like to poke, but like with an honest question, then I'll respond to that. Like, I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with people, misunderstanding or even just having a totally different take. Like, that's fine. But when you're rude, or you're just, you're just there just to, a troll essentially. Yeah. I've got no time for that. I don't want to waste time on that.
Yeah. And you want to be careful too, how you approach it.
I think it's your voice, Leonardo. When I watched you watch The Shift, which was a very meta moment in our living room, and I was like so busy yesing and to everything. Brock was like, I cannot hear him.
Loved watching him watch The Shift so much.
Oh, I wish you would have filmed that so I could watch.
I wish we had too.
He was like, I'm gonna need you to a little quieter because I can't hear.
That's interesting.
I was like, he gets me. He knows.
So let's talk about that for people who haven't had a chance to watch that. And of course, if you go to Leonardo's channel on Facebook, on YouTube, I can talk. You can watch him react to The Shift. So definitely go. Maybe the moderator can throw that link up in the comments so that people can jump over there and check that out.
It was so good. I loved it.
But I mean, don't like reenact the whole thing or anything. But like, tell us. Tell us what your response was to The Shift when you saw, because you came out, you had no idea what it was. It was our moderator actually approached you and was like, hey, would you be willing to check this out? Because you'd been watching The Chosen and had been reacting to that. And so he thought this would be a great thing to watch as well, since it's from VidAngel and it's kind of in the same realm. And Dallas, of course, is working on The Shift. So you came at it cold. You had no idea what you were going to see. And then what happened?
And I'm glad that he shared it with me. So the very first scene, right? The very first scene where he's just sitting there, or he gets there, and the main character is eating. Was he eating or drinking coffee?
He was eating his cereal.
Yeah, it was cereal, right? And then it started to intensify with, I think, something that we can all relate to, or is that tension in the room as soon as your partner walks in, and there's like that tension. Not my current partner, but everybody's experience. Yeah, right.
We never have difficulty.
Experience that, and just seeing how the scene was like intensifying. I was like, okay, this is interesting. But the thing that really caught my attention was that first transition where you like threw something and then the keys like landed or whatever it was. That was really smooth. I really like that. I really enjoyed that. All those transitions, and then at work, and then the sort of the sarcasm, which I was having a conversation with Dallas that I enjoyed those little sarcastic remarks like, oh, was the meeting today?
Yeah.
a lot of the subscribers here, La Familia, they were saying like, oh, if it were tacos, that's a good day for a meeting.
He wouldn't have missed the meeting if it had been tacos.
Exactly. It wouldn't have missed it. It would have probably been there early,
and everything would have been okay. Tacos would have solved the whole thing.
Exactly. It solves everything. But I'm sorry. I apologize, but I cannot help myself when it comes to food. I have to bring up food all the time in every conversation. I saw people in the comments that were already saying like, I bet you Leo is eating right now while I was waiting. And they weren't wrong too. But I like your take on seeing it from the devil's side or from Satan's side. Mm-hmm. Walking with him. I know a lot of people are like, that's weird or that's kind of creepy, but I think it's important to know both sides of different stories. A lot of people know about God and they follow that and they're all positive, which is great. Which you want to be on that side, right? But to see a little bit of insight as to how the devil's mind works and how he sort of the smooth talking, the just giving nature. He's giving him a meal, and it's like my grandfather used to say, "Beware the free meal," and so it reminded me of that too. Like there's no such thing as a free meal. And it developed nicely, or not developed. What am I saying? It transitioned nicely
Uh-huh.
from when he got into the accident. There was a lot of questions like, is he dead, or
Sure.
is this another realm? The biggest question for me was like, was Satan actually telling him the truth, or was he lying, or was it the truth with a little bit of a lie sprinkled in it, or like hidden fees, or
The fine print on the bottom.
Right.
I love that you just compared credit card companies and banks to Satan.
Yeah, well, it's not too far, right?
No, unfortunately, it's not. Not in my estimation, anyway.
We're not too far. Yeah, so yeah, I found it interesting. I think I'm ready for the feature film. I'd like to know. I'd like to see where that's going.
Want to see what happens when he goes out the door?
Yeah. And that poor server who just just got shifted. Poor server.
Tina.
Can we know? Do we ever know? Like, can we know where she ends up, or is that?
So I get this. So there's two questions I always get. Number one, what happens to Kevin when he walks out the door? And number two, where's Tina?
Tina, that's
where's
right.
Tina? So the thing I always say is, the feature film will address the fate of Tina. We will know by the end of the feature film exactly what happens to Tina and what her ultimate fate is. That is a big part of the feature film. So I'm not leaving Tina hanging in the wind. We're going to deal with that.
She's just wandering around.
Everything that's set up, I think.
She's
I
at
think
IKEA.
just about. She's at IKEA. Well, that is
trying to find her way out.
IKEA's magical.
I don't like IKEA. I get lost in IKEA. I think it is anyway.
We can fight about that later.
there is a lot of things that are purposely hanging that will be addressed. Like a lot of the other thing people ask is, well, what's the deal with the people in the diner? Like they all seem to know who Satan is, but nobody's doing anything. Nobody's getting up and leaving. Why does Tina's father and mother? Why are they just crying? And why aren't they doing? Why aren't anybody doing anything? Why is this happening? And all of that's going to be addressed in the feature film.
Excellent.
All of that is backstory that I had in mind, and now I finally get to share it.
Will there be tacos in the feature film?
That is a great question. I now want there to be tacos, if only so that on set we can eat them when we're done finishing with the scene.
That's the best part.
Yeah, that is the best part. So we have a question here. What is your favorite taco, Leonardo?
I'm with the classics. Carne asada taco is nothing like a good carne asada. Second would be carnitas, but my go-to is always carne asada.
I am partial to chorizo as well.
Oh yeah, it's a nice choice. Good choice.
Love chorizo. Good
choice.
Taco.
Some people, believe it or not, actually add chorizo, like a little bit of chorizo, to the carne asada, and it gives it a little bit of a different.
Oh, that's interesting.
Taste. Yeah,
I gotta try that.
Try it one day. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Let's go, everybody, to the kitchen.
We have a request here for you to tell a dad joke.
Oh, okay. Oh man, these are my favorite. Okay. As you already know, hang on, I gotta look them up. I really do have to look them up. I had one earlier today. Well, actually, one of my favorite, actually Erika's favorite, was I have a friend who's balding, and he still carries his comb with him. He just can't part with it.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Right?
Yep. Yep. And the thing is that what was great about that joke and the way you told it is that it wasn't until about halfway through that I realized it even was a joke, that you had actually transitioned to the joke. And I'm like, oh yeah, your friend was balding.
Your poor friend.
Like, I'm bald, so what? So I want to hear the rest of this.
Can we have Leonardo over when the pandemic's over?
Yeah, right. We can hang out.
I'm done. I'll bring the carne asada.
Yes, please. It's done.
This comment is from Unknown Chef. He or she says, if you're not a threat, the enemy doesn't bother with you. Speaking about our conversation earlier about the haters that we get. And I think that's true. I think that's true.
That's true. I think in every moment where the channel is getting to a peak, there's always something that happens where it's like really, like, we're doing so well. It's like we can't always be flowers, there's gonna be weeds in between. I remember when I was at 3,000 subscribers, I was getting so many emails and so many messages, and I made it my mission to respond to every single comment, even if it was just with like a quick like. I'm gonna try to do that for as long as I possibly can. I was really good at it, and even on Instagram, I was, instead of typing when they would message me, I would actually do a voice record, and I'd say, hey, thanks a lot for taking the time to send me a message. And people are like, whoa, you actually responded, like, and so like I was on it. But at 3,000, I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is way too much. And I called my girlfriend. I was like, panicked. I go, what should I do? And she's like, look, if this is too much, just quit. Like, you always have that option to quit. And I'm like, well, no, but I love this. She said, well, then just go, like, just do it. And I was like, okay, fine. So I went, and then, like, it took off. But I have my moments still where I'm still, nervous, or where the channel's not, I'm getting too serious of responses. People just like, hey, you're just in it for the likes and the. I'm like, hey, go over to Discord and see what's going on over there. I'm not. It's like beyond that.
No, I visited your Discord, and yeah, people are having, it's quite the community. People are having some really great conversations, and it's way beyond even. I mean, it's all connected to what you're doing, right? But it's way beyond that even. I mean, it is a true community in that way. It's not in worship of you. It's all about kind of the message that you're bringing out there, and kind of the openness with which you approach the things that you're watching. That's what I appreciate about what you do, is that you're really coming at it cold, and you're letting it be whatever it is, and accepting it and responding to it on the level that it's operating on, if that makes any sense.
And what's interesting is that it's not just Christian people getting together on Discord. There are several people who are not Christian. There's some atheists in there, and it's peaceful for the most part. Every once in a while you get someone who's stirring the pot, but we love them. and they either calm down or phase out. But it's wonderful.
And that's exactly what we hope for this film. I mean, we hope to be able to reach people that, if they're just going to come at this and just enjoy this as a cool, sci-fi story movie, and and that's all they get from it, I think that's awesome. Because we've gotten them to, watch a positive message, and they took from it what they wanted to. And I think that's the way forward for faith entertainment. I'm not to say that we can't have things that preach to the choir, because the choir is important, but I don't think that there's enough things that are speaking outside of that.
That's it. Yeah, that's interesting to say that, because there have been faith-based films that I've watched before, and it almost seems like they want to just frame it and protect the Christian community without mixing any, stirring the pot at all. Right. And I find it interesting that, like, okay, leave it open. Maybe start a conversation. Maybe make it so that people who are not Christian can feel comfortable enough to ask a question openly and say, hey, so I don't get it. Is Satan like this? Like, how do you all see that? And allow people to respond and say, like, well, we believe this. Like, you don't have to believe that, but we believe that Satan works this way, and God works in this way. And it opens up the conversation for Christian and non-Christian people to finally be able to comfortably have a conversation without tension, without pressure, without pushing ideas aside or forcing ideas onto one another.
No, exactly. My dream is that someday two people exit a movie theater having just watched The Shift together, one of them a non-Christian, one of them a Christian, and they both say that they enjoyed the film for completely different reasons, and then they go out to dinner and have a great conversation about it,
with steak and eggs
and
a coffee
and a glass of milk and a coffee. No, but seriously, like I see that being a possibility, where somebody can completely enjoy the film for XYZ, and somebody over here enjoys the film for ABC, and they're both totally valid.
Right.
And they have such a great conversation, and their appreciation of the film expands from there. I had a friend who watched the short film, an actress friend of mine who I respect, not only as a friend and as an actress, but also as just an intellectual. And she watched The Shift, and she wrote me this long email of her response to it. She is not a believer. And her email and her reaction did not mention God at all. Like, it had nothing, like, she had a very kind of an allegorical take on it, seeing it as kind of a parable about communication and the miscommunications we have and things like that. And it was a completely valid read on the short. Like, it was completely valid. It's all there. Everything she was saying was right there. and I loved it. And I just think that that's the possibility with something like this.
Sorry, I
Is
read
our
the
moderator
comment.
messing with us?
He's so funny. This is a joke.
Okay, our unknown chef is submitting a dad joke. Are you ready for this?
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Did you know that the disciples traveled in a Honda? True story. They were all in one accord. It's so bad.
Oh, it's so bad. It's good.
You were
It's
having
so bad. It's so good.
this serious
I know.
moment, and it popped up on the screen, and it was over for
I know.
me.
Everybody who's watching is like, oh man, they're getting serious again. Dad joke. we gotta send in a dad joke.
Send in the dad joke. Yeah.
Send in the dad joke.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for that laugh. Unknown chef.
You can add that to your question from John. How many steaks were cooked for the scene in the Shift film? I think
2.
it was 2. No, it was more than that. It was like 4 or 5. We
There
had to
were
keep rotating.
2 left, and the 2 that were left stayed in my freezer for like a year.
Okay, well there you go. I don't know.
I don't know
I don't know what I'm talking about apparently. But that's the answer to that. So
It was the steaks, by the way, though, fun fact, were the most expensive purchase for the Shift.
that's true. That's true. We spent more money on those
Yeah,
steaks.
of the $500 budget, more money went to steak than anything else.
Totally unappreciated by Travis, who played
It's true.
Satan, because of course he had to keep eating those, and the longer the night
And he
went,
took giant bites.
he took giant bites. Well, it looked better on camera, and Travis knows what works on camera.
No.
But that steak got more and more dry. I mean, you think of a steak, you think, oh, it's juicy, it's great. No, it was so dry, and it was like he was taking bites, chewing. I call cut, he spits it out. Like it was. That's what the night
rough.
was.
Ouch.
He rarely swallowed because. Of it.
That's interesting. But by the way, if that was your budget, good job on the fire on the car after the accident.
Isn't that cool?
Oh yeah, that was our special effects guru who worked for free just like everybody else. Chris Loafing, he did a great job on
Yeah, he
those
did.
effects, and the crash too. You know, the crash was all digital effects and a
We
little bit
made-
of sugar glass that we
Yeah.
tossed in there for practical.
We made sugar glass in the kitchen,
yeah,
and
yep.
How
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Sugar glass, for those of you that don't know, you can actually make fake glass in your oven using sugar. And it's a recipe, you can find it easily online,
And then
it
you
breaks
throw
apart
it.
and it doesn't hurt. That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. It doesn't break into shards that can cut.
Yeah.
So it's great for that.
So
it
that's
tastes
a
good
great
too.
that's a great
Yes.
tip for anyone who wants to scare their spouse. You know, they
Yes.
put up a fake window and I told you to take out the trash. And then catch up and be like, see what you made me do.
Or if you want to imitate the Kool-Aid Man and come bursting through.
Doesn't everyone want to do that?
I mean,
Right on time for Halloween. Yeah, I wanted to do that.
I definitely have that
I tried when I was a kid, but crooked nose. That's all I got.
Just as a reminder, we do have a goal tonight of 140K. If we hit that, we will release a brand new, or not a new at all, a hidden secret behind-the-scenes video. We hope to get there.
Awesome.
Anne says, "Wow, the steak was the steak
Biggest
was the
expense.
biggest expense.
It's true.
How did you make the steak look so juicy?"
That would be Kyle
that
and
would
his
be-
cinematography
yeah, maybe we
skills.
spritzed it. I'm not sure what we did. I don't remember. It's too long ago. I wasn't in charge of the steak, so thank goodness. So
I think
go ahead.
I think you should have more steak in the feature
Yes.
film. It seems to be.
The steak is coming back. not that steak. We didn't preserve it. New
I
steak.
hope not. It's gonna be bad to eat it.
We'll get new steak.
That's what we need the budget for, friends. We need more steak.
That's right. That's that expensive steak
That's right.
line item.
That's right.
So one of the big themes in the shift, you know, and one of the big ideas here, of course, comes at the end with the prayer. You know, and that prayer is really where the shift kind of reveals itself for what it is. When I took it around to film festivals, it wasn't presented as a faith-based film. And in fact, it only ever appeared in one faith-based film festival, mostly because I wasn't aware of any others. I couldn't find them. So I submitted it to all of these non-Christian faith festivals, or film festivals. And so when it played in front of those audiences, they were like you. They had no idea what was coming. I think you had a sense that it was a faith-based film. Did you have a sense of that?
Yes.
So you knew at least that much. So imagine coming to that film and not understanding that it's faith. And so you're watching this thing, and essentially what happens at the end then is that the faith element, the prayer, becomes the twist. It becomes this like, oh, I thought I was watching this sci-fi film. Turns out I'm watching a film about faith, which was a really interesting experience. And I'd see people's faces during the film festivals, and you'd see like just this look come over their face of like, what has just happened? And for some people, it was like an automatic rejection. But for most people, they kind of went with it, and they appreciated that there was a bit of a rug pull. Not necessarily an intended rug pull, but if you don't know, that's how it plays. But, to me, it's the most important moment, and I think it's the moment that most people think of when they think of the film. They think about that prayer. And embedded within that is this idea, you have 18 minutes of darkness followed by 2 minutes of light. That's kind of how I see the film. And the reason for that is because I'm really stuck on this idea of how God's light shines brightest during the dark times. When things are going well, we tend to not look for God as much. I believe he's there all the time, but it's when things are not going so well,
right,
that we look for him. And I believe that if we do that, we will find him. So I'm curious, that theme, this idea of looking for God through dark times, you and where you are with your faith is in a different place than where we are. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that type of theme and how you think that might resonate with other people who, don't have the same faith that we do.
When it got to the part where he started to pray, I knew where it was going. I'm like, okay, because everybody was like, what is this guy doing? Really? And even Satan was like, really? That's what you're doing? And then you could start to feel like the tension building. And one thing that you just mentioned just a second ago that reminded me, I don't know if you've ever seen the film. I talk about this film a lot, actually. The Fountain by Darren.
Yes, I have seen it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a scene where Rachel Weisz says even the deepest of shadows run from the morning light, or something to that effect.
I don't remember the line, but I know what you're talking about. Something like that. And that's what you just reminded me of. Like even just like even in the darkest moments, just a little bit of light. That's all it needs for the shadows to start, sort of backing up a little bit. From a non-Christian perspective, where I am now, I understand that. Okay, cool. Like he prays, and then Satan disappears, or whatever, he shifts, if you will. You also have the power of shifting. So he's talking about shifting, but you also have that power of shifting that moment. But I could see how someone might just be like, oh, this is no. From an atheist, when I used to be an atheist, it's just like, okay, so you pray and then he disappears. Like, what's up with that? And so maybe building. I'm not telling you how to make. No. This is good.
All right, but little bites, making it to where maybe go inside the person's head would probably be something that would and remember that prayer somehow is like spells, or I don't know if that's appropriate to say, or if that's what it is, but that somehow prayer has a little bit of light. It has something that the devil or Satan doesn't enjoy or doesn't want to hear, or something that puts him in his place, puts him in the dark. If you fill yourself up with light, and then he walks out all like John Wayne, out of the building, like, yeah, that's right, and like everybody's like, why didn't we think of that? Like, so yeah, that was great. I like that, but I could see how someone might walk away like, okay, that was a weird twist, because they're rejecting. Ultimately, what they're doing is they're rejecting what they know is sort of true in the spiritual world. They know it's true, but they deny. They put up a wall and they just reject it automatically without wanting to know more. So I think with someone like that, easy bites, like like thinking about praying and then moving into that. I don't know if that answered the question or not, but
no. I think you did, and I appreciate what you're saying about easy bites, because I think that maybe is where some faith-based films that I've seen have missed the mark, at least for me, as far as I'm concerned. Where it's not bites, it's like it's constant. Like, I'm chopping down on this big burger, and it's giant bite after giant bite, and that's the whole film. And that really leaves people out who, like me, maybe who appreciate more subtlety, and like you, who maybe don't share their worldview or their faith. I think my approach to storytelling of this type where I'm incorporating faith, no matter what kind of story I'm telling, if it has an element of faith, I don't want it to be this giant bite. I don't want it to be this giant thing where we're putting it front and center in your face the whole way through. Because number one, I think that's what preaching is for. I think that's what I go to church for. And if I'm telling a story, I have different masters that I'm trying to serve other than just, here's this message that I want you to learn. Number one, I think if I just say message, you say, no thanks, I want to tune that out. But if I say, hey, cool story, sci-fi, interesting characters, message. Cool story, sci-fi, here's a punch, message. You're able to process that and accept that because it's been folded into a larger narrative and a larger thing that's happening. And as long as I'm playing fair, which I believe that the shift does, because the shift is Satan disappears at the end, and you just said it, he shifts. It's not, it's kind of a deus ex machina, but it's properly set up. We have established that this is how things work in this world, and so when he disappears at the end, you're not thinking, oh, miracle, he disappeared. You're thinking, oh, miracle, he shifted. And so it's playing fair. We're playing within the rules that we've established, and that's what I want to do going forward with the feature film. Is let's set up the rules, and then let's play fair within them, so that people aren't coming away and being like, well, that was contrived. No, it's like a Christopher Nolan film. Like, we've got specific rules, and we're gonna figure out how to operate within them. Anyway, I think we're talking about the same thing. Right.
From an audience perspective, you're asking us to, even if you don't believe in like God and Satan, you're asking us to suspend reality for a little bit and go into that world. And we're following along, and then you get to a point where he's praying. And then we're like, wait a minute. Okay, now we're back to reality. Like, okay, well, this is uncomfortable for me. And then it happens, and then okay, fine, he disappeared. Okay, that's how that works. But for me, like, if he would have just closed his eyes, and then Satan would have just, like, he wouldn't actually have been praying out loud. I don't know if that works or not, but. And again, I'm not telling you how to write this. I'm not asking you to rewrite this, okay? But like, for someone like me, it would have been like, okay, what is he doing? And like, really, you're gonna pray right now without him? Like, kind of like that. Like my grandma used to pray like something like, yeah. And then it's just like really, and then he shifts, and then like, I would want to walk out saying like, okay, so how does that work? Like, really, like, I want to know. Now I want to ask someone like, hey, so how does prayer work exactly? Like, you can actually pray, and then disappears, or the shadows disappear, and it makes for future conversation, like you mentioned. That's great. I mean, I like the way that you delivered it. It was perfect, I think. And I understand that in a short film you can't really do the slow burn thing. You can't really take your time and and do it. You have to deliver it in 30 minutes.
Yeah, which is a challenge I looked forward to not having on the feature film. I want 2 hours to tell this story.
I hope you reach your goal. I don't know how are we doing on the goal.
I haven't seen an update, so I think a lot of people are watching the debate tonight, to be honest with you. But we know that people watch this afterwards a lot. Yeah. Like, most of our viewership comes in later, after it's over, and people catch up with it. So we're hoping to see more investment after this is all done. And then, of course, tomorrow is our last day. And we're going to have Dallas on tomorrow, which we're excited about. But thank you so much, Leonardo, for being here with us tonight and sharing your perspective. We really, really appreciate it. Do you want to give us one last plug where people can find you on YouTube and how they can get in touch with you?
Sure. On YouTube, I'm under Leonardo Torres Music. You'll see the orange in the background everywhere. Nice. I have the orange everywhere. In the background, I'm also as Tower of Torres on Instagram. If you want to join me there, doing some fun stuff soon. Hopefully, I'm getting on schedule. I've been bad about being, schedules. I'm usually recording for the day, and I've been recording for future days now. So I'm hoping to be ahead.
Nice.
That's good. Build that buffer.
Yeah,
you need that.
Hopefully. But thank you so much for having me. Please don't kick kittens. Okay, I don't like.
Never.
Stop it.
Never.
Stop it. Stop. No, I'm kidding. I actually, real quick story, if I may share.
Yeah, go for it.
I did not like cats, mostly because when I was a kid, I held a kitten and it just, clinged onto me, and I was like, cats, no way, no, forget it. But one day I was dropping my daughter off at school, and my youngest daughter, I believe she was 3 at the time. We were going back home, and we saw a little kitten. It was a calico cat, and it was like all beat up. It looked like it had been underneath like a car or something. It almost got run over. So we took it home, and I was like bathing it and like cats, But it was so grateful to have been saved that it would like literally just like come up to me and just cuddle up and do that little engine thing that they do. You know, I was like, oh, okay, you're not too bad. And it would just chill. It would just be super, super chill and wouldn't bother anybody. Not like dogs that bark in the middle. Well, they do have a little negative that they decide to run at 3 a.m. all over the house. But they're just like, hey, I got to do this thing at 3 a.m. Like, but they're not too bad. That's my sales pitch to help you like cats.
Cats are easier than dogs. I'm sorry, but they are. They largely take care of themselves and they're quiet. Dogs are neither one of those things.
No animal should be harmed ever.
No, that is true. That is true. But if you had to harm a cat or a dog, if you had to, you would choose a cat.
No, don't do that. Don't put it.
Why do we always end up talking about harming animals on this? We don't do that.
No.
We don't harm animals, I promise.
No, we don't. I was going to say something bad.
Well, now you just destroyed them.
I was like, no, we just have tacos. But
we just have tacos.
That's right.
Not made out of cats.
No.
That's terrible.
Don't we have a segue somewhere in there?
Yeah, let's have a segue.
Dude.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Very much enjoyed talking with you, man.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you. I hope everything goes well with your project, and I hope you get the funding you need.
We're gonna get there. I feel 100% confident about it. I just don't know when, and I think it's possible tomorrow. And if not, doesn't matter. We're gonna.
I feel it. Yeah, you'll get there.
Yeah.
You set your intentions. You got the gift for storytelling, and we hope that you get a chance to tell it on a bigger screen.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. I've enjoyed my talk with you. Thank you.
Talk to you later.
All right, see ya.
Bye. All right. That was Leonardo Torres. I lost it. My mouth is too dry tonight. I'm gonna stop trying to do. I'm not trying to show off. I'm trying to do it properly. Like once you know how to say it, you want to say it correctly every time. It's not about showing off.
It's why I have not said his name.
It's about feeling bad that I can't make my tongue do it tonight because
justice.
it's always so dry.
Yes, for sure.
All right. Let's see. We got a couple of comments here that we should go over. Unknown Chef says, one of my favorite scenes is the car crash because it's so totally unexpected and takes you by surprise, even when you've seen it multiple times. Love that.
It's even better big.
Oh yeah, if you ever get a chance to see it in a movie theater, which hopefully we all will, because we are gonna have to recreate that car crash.
Mm-hmm. It's big and it's loud.
And it's big and it's loud and it will rattle your cage.
Yes.
Andrea says, speaking of what we were talking about earlier with my mouth is so dry. With Leonardo, I can do it in super gringo. Leonardo.
That was good. I liked that.
That was terrible. She says, so it's not Deus ex machina. It's the resolution has substance and meaning. Yes, that is the point. It is a Deus ex machina done correctly. And for those of you that aren't familiar with the term of Latin, most of us don't speak Latin. Deus ex machina is a term that means God in the machine or from out of the machine. It's basically whenever you're seeing a movie and then all of a sudden the hand of God comes down and just solves all the problems, and it's not really up to the characters. They didn't really do anything. It's just, hey, we got the end of the movie and we just got to finish things. And so God makes everything better. It's a really lazy storytelling technique that we try to avoid. Let's see, got a couple of questions here from Judy. Can investors come to the premiere? We are not set up for that. That is not one of the perks that we have available.
I was going to say yes. Say, come on over,
I could see a scenario in which maybe at some point we try to figure out how to get some of. We can't make that promise. Here's the problem with the movie premiere. Movie premiere takes place in a movie theater, and if you're ever in a movie theater, you understand there's only so many seats.
Sure.
And those seats are going to have to be taken up by our actors, by our crew.
But I just
media,
invited
people
Judy.
Like that. You just invited Judy. Well, Judy, I'm afraid that I can't make good on that promise as much as Aaron wants to. So we're going to have to figure out, maybe there are a limited number of seats that we can provide to investors.
An investor lottery.
Yeah, like a lottery system, something like that. I could see that happening, but we're not currently promising that, nor do we have anything set up for that. That's
Except
so far in
Judy.
the future right now. You're gonna get me in trouble is what you're gonna do. And speaking of those perks, if you're wondering what they are, so there's a number of investment levels.
Is there a tote bag?
There's no tote bag perk, I'm afraid. But there are a number of investment levels that you can get certain things. For example, your name in the credits is one of our perks. At another level, you can have a signed copy of the script after the movie is released. And if you go up even higher than that, and I'm talking probably a lot higher. Actually, no, I know it's a lot higher. You can actually have a copy of the script before the movie is even made. You get a chance to see everything that's going on way before the movie is made. How exciting would that be?
Very exciting.
Judy says, what if I bring Joss Whedon? Judy worked with Joss Whedon at one point.
Now it's Judy and a date.
And, well, not just any date. I mean, Joss Whedon is one of my creative heroes. So, Judy, we'll talk. If you can get Joss Whedon, we'll talk. I'd love to see him. Judy also wants to know. Wait a minute. Hold on. More perks. I want to talk about some more perks. Other perks that we have: come and be an extra on the film. Come and spend a day on the set. Free reign. You can go anywhere you want. Come and have lunch with me on the set. There's lots of cool perks. And if you're an investor who's like, dang, I want to hit those like 5-digit and 6-digit investments, if you can do that, associate producer, executive producer, your name alongside Dallas Jenkins in the credits as an executive producer. These are some of the perks that we have for people who are willing to, get to those levels and invest at those levels. But you can find all of that on the website. The link is in the chat. If you scroll down a little bit, there's like a tab with several different things: perks, campaign, offering, FAQ, things like that. Hit the perks. You'll go right to it. You'll see everything that's available.
I'm still committed. If we hit $1 million, I will make Kevin will have a coffee t-shirts.
There you go. Kevin will have a coffee t-shirts on the line.
We'll have a coffee.
Judy also asked, how did you shoot that car crash for $500? This is how we shot the car crash for $500. We didn't put any money into the car crash whatsoever. That money, let's see, how do we put the car crash together? It was our car, number one, which our daughter now drives. Number two, the sugar glass, which we made using household ingredients in our own kitchen, which you made. I didn't really do it. Number three, we had a green screen. Our executive producers, Travis Clough, who played Satan, and Chris Loafing, who did the effects, had a green screen at their home. So they brought that to set. We used that to film Greg getting hit. We combined that with the footage. People through the glass. We combined that with the footage of the truck going in reverse. So that's it. And that's how you do a car crash for free. Well, then Chris, of course, did all the effects. And, in a more righteous world, he would have been paid for that effort. But we didn't have any money.
But that did not happen.
That did not happen. So Chris, as an executive producer, did the visual effects for free.
Judy, I'll tell you a secret that nothing in this movie cost anything except for the food. We only paid for food. So we fed the crew and cast, and we put food on the table at the diner for the scene. That was the only thing that was any money out.
Yeah. So when you look at the film and you see, and if we got to 140K, I could show you the behind the scenes video and you could see all the equipment.
Well, we have a new investor. Maybe we will.
That's exciting. Maybe we'll get all the way up there. I don't know. We'll see. It's coming in. But yeah, that was people donating their time and their talents and their gear, and then we just had to feed them. Leonardo in California partnered with us for $250. Is that the same?
I think it might
Leonardo?
be.
Did he just do that?
He's so invited over for tacos.
Moderator, you got to tell me, is that the person we were just
talking
to?
Is that our Leonardo?
Is that our Leonardo, or is that?
Or is it DiCaprio?
But either way, I mean, whoever you are in California, Leonardo, thank you so much for your partnership.
Torres is good too, but DiCaprio would be awesome.
DiCaprio would be, if DiCaprio, I'm grateful for every investment, but if DiCaprio invested $250, I'd say, you know what, man, maybe you can come up a little bit more.
No, you would not. You would say thank you and please come to set.
And why are our kids and dogs suddenly out here?
Yay! Okay.
Well, that's.
I love life.
Glad we got
please
that
go
on.
Get Alora.
Glad we got that. Yeah. So, moderator says we can't legally say what the last name is of the person.
It's DiCaprio.
It's DiCaprio. We'll just say it's DiCaprio or Torres. Either way.
Both awesome.
Both awesome. Grateful for both. So thank you very much. All right. I think we are wrapping up here. We are so grateful for everybody for sticking with us and being here during all of this. Not so grateful for our dogs that are now prancing around and
He's
making
not
all kinds
kicking
of
them
noise.
though.
I'm not kicking them. Don't do that.
let
Tomorrow night, we are going to hear from Dallas Jenkins. He is going to be joining me live. There will be no presidential debate, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing everybody. And And yeah, and Dallas is going to let us know why he's working on the shift. And
Look, it looks like I got shifted.
it does look like you got shifted. He's going to let us know why he is working on the shift and how he came to it. And I anticipate a really great conversation. And I'm looking forward to talking with him. Oh my gosh, we have another investor coming in. You guys, you do this to us every single time. We try to wrap up and you keep it going. So you know what? Let's hear from Dallas. Let's watch this. This is Dallas talking about the shift, and then we'll come back and announce our new investor.
Hey there, I'm Dallas Jenkins. I'm the creator of The Chosen, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of why I have actually signed on to be one of the executive producers of The Shift. I remember when I first saw the short film, The Shift, it was probably a couple of years ago, and I remember thinking to myself, I don't know who this person is who made this, and I had heard that they did it for no money. But I'm really impressed, and I believe that this guy has a future. And I wanted to see more. I wanted to see where the shift turned out. I wanted to see how it could be expanded upon. I wanted to see what Brock could do with an actual budget. So the shift now has a relatively small budget. They're really keeping the budget low, and that's one of the things I'm trying to do is help them maximize the budget that they do have and making sure that every penny that we spend is spent in the best and most efficient way possible, which is one of the things that I hope, if you've seen The Chosen, you've realized we did there too, was we didn't have Hollywood money, but we had enough to make something special. And I think that's what Brock has now. I think he's going to get, and I hope you can help him get enough to make something special. And I think the message of the shift and the future of the shift is so important. And almost as important as any of that is Brock Heasley. He didn't ask me to say this, I promise. But I can tell you, I've seen his work on a writing side. I've seen it on the directing side. And in my 20 years in the business, there are very few people who I've thought, I want to pour into this person because I think that this person has the chance to be an impactful and disruptive and important storyteller in this business. And that is Brock. Brock is someone who, when I read what he's writing, I'm connected to it. And I want to see more, and I want to be part of it. And it reaches me on both an intellectual level and an emotional level. And if you've seen The Chosen, maybe that's what you've appreciated about it as well, is that it's not just pure emotion. It's emotion that has some thought behind it, but it's also not pure intellect. It's intellect that has some heart behind it. And all of that is, there's kind of an umbrella over all of it of a spiritual importance. Something is being said about our universe and who created it.
Nothing. That I may be worthy tomorrow. I am greater than God. Jesus Christ.
And that's what The Shift is about. That's what The Chosen is about. It's one of the reasons why I've signed on board, and I hope you can get involved as well to be part of the beginning of what I believe is an important project and who I believe is an important filmmaker.
Hey, this is Brock. I hope you'll partner with us by backing the project at studios.vidangel.com/theshift. We only have until September 30th to get our full funding, and we can't do it without you.
That was Dallas, who will be joining us tomorrow night. Let's get you in frame here.
I know.
We're all discombobulated. There we go. That was Dallas, who will be joining us tomorrow night, talking about the shift. We're so grateful to him for his words and, of course, for his partnership and coming on as our executive producer. Absolutely mind-blowing that has happened. We did have an investor come in just recently. Julia, new investor, new partner with us in Tennessee for $100. Thanks, you,
Julia.
Julia.
Julia?
Yes, Julia.
Huh?
Why do we always mess up everybody's names? We don't do it on purpose, I promise. Our new investment total is $135,056.
$56.
Yes, we are grateful, each and every one of you, for your partnership and for your investment. We did not quite hit the 140K tonight, to my knowledge. The moderator is telling me we have one more in the pipeline. One more person.
Look, the cat came.
Oh, the cat came.
And see, I'm super nice.
Here's our giant cat, and look, you're holding him.
Yeah, I'm being super nice.
So we have one more person who might be about to do an investment, but I think that we're basically out of time. We don't know how long or if they're going to be able to finish that. So we thank you for joining us. Please, if you can't invest, there is still so much you can do. And investors and non-investors alike, subscribing to our YouTube channel, The Shift Film, liking our page, The Shift Film, liking and commenting on posts, engaging with us, puts our stuff in front of more people, and we are so grateful for that when that happens, because we never know who we're going to reach. We never know who is going to be that person to come in and really, invest and put us over the top potentially. Who knows what's going to happen. Tomorrow, I think, could be a really exciting day for us. It's going to be our last day. We hope that the word can get out there. We encourage you to spread the word. Let people know this is it. We're coming to the end. Tomorrow night, Dallas Jenkins. The link, of course, to invest is studios.vidangel.com/theshift. It is inside of the comments. You can see that there. And we'll see you tomorrow. Are you going to join us tomorrow?
We'll see you tomorrow.
That's always to be determined, and that's fair. All right. Thanks, everybody.